morning. My name is Sherry Denyon. We're here on Wednesday, October 25th at the Pleasant Ridge Library. I'm joined by Fred Pieper, his sister Mary Pieper, and his daughter Mary Bloom, and our camera operator today is David Ducart. Let's see, where do we start? When did you join in which branch were you in?
Air Force.
Air Force, okay. And you joined?
September 7th, 43.
And it says here you were drafted.
That's correct.
And how old were you at that time?
I was getting close to 30.
30, okay. So did you have a wife and children at the time?
No.
No? Okay. And what did you do when you were drafted? Where did you go?
Marymount.
Mm-hmm.
That's where my draft board was.
Uh-huh. And then did they send you right away to somewhere?
Sent me to 4th Street for physical and shots. We were all naked running around this big building. That's about it for that one. And then they sent me to Fort Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
And I was there about maybe 3 days, and I got to go home a couple of times. And after that, I never got back home again until everything was over.
And you went to England right away, or France?
No, many stops. Went to Atlantic City for basic training. And at Atlantic City, we would drill in the sand. And a lot of other people were enjoying themselves walking around the beach. I stayed in an Austin hotel. It was a wooden structure. The fire escape was rope ladder throughout the window. It was 3 stories, and thank goodness we never had a fire. And you had to do your own laundry there, and it's all water to wash with. And took a special soap. You weren't allowed to have clothes hanging up. And I don't know how you were supposed to dry, but that was it.
And this was all in Atlantic City?
Atlantic City.
And then how long were you there?
Probably about 3 weeks.
And then what'd they do?
Went to Flint, Michigan. Went to engine school, learned to work on engines. We stayed at the IMA, was an auditorium similar to Cincinnati Gardens. We slept there to go to work. We would march to the Buick plant and to eat our meals. We would march to a restaurant, a dairy facility. They would feed us there. We would take calisthenics on the apron in front of the building.
What did you do in the front of the building?
Calisthenics.
Oh, calisthenics, okay. And then they were teaching you engineering too?
Teaching us to work on a Pratt & Whitney engine.
Okay. So did you do that before you were drafted? Were you an engineer?
No, I was raised on a garden, and I had numerous jobs. I was I had to get a fireman's license when I worked on the garden because our boiler was over 40 horsepower. I worked at a gas plant for a while, and I got a job with the A&P company as a fireman, bakery mechanic, night watch.
So you had some kind of, you had mechanical abilities then?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were at camp, what did you call it?
Went to Camp Kilmore.
Campbell? Mhm.
Camp Kilmore was part of it. We shipped overseas.
Mhm.
We went to a staging area, and then they put us on the ship. Either Queen Mary or Queen Elizabeth. I don't know which one anymore. It's been a while back. I think it was 6 days crossing the ocean to Liverpool. From Liverpool, they sent me to Arden. I was base air depot number 2. They didn't have work for us to do right away, so they sent us to Liverpool base air depot number 1. We took that depot from the British. After a while, they sent me back to Warden base number 2. We started working on Pratt & Whitney engines, but we could never get one. We never could get one across the test block.
What is that?
That's where you rebuild the engine and then you put it on a test block and you run the engine, see if it's okay, but the pistons would always burn out. So,
Oh, wow.
so they changed and started working on the Packard-built Merlin Rolls-Royce. We would bring the engines would come in a big crate, and usually there was a low record accompanying the engine. This one of them, the pilot had put a notice and he was flying along, and all of a sudden holes began appearing in the cowling. Which meant that his engine was blowing up.
Oh, man.
I worked in the cleaning department. No, well, I started there, but then I worked on the disassembly line, or we had one main line that would break the components down, and the accessory would be in another line. Well, I worked on that line for quite a while. My buddy, he was the line chief. He got appendicitis, and while he was gone, they made me line chief.
And what was his name?
But you would be in charge of the line. Anybody had trouble, you'd help them out.
Did your friend come back?
Yeah, he came back, but he didn't get his job.
Oh, right. Was he upset with you?
No, we got along. He was a little Chinese boy.
Uh-huh.
He was my buddy all the while.
Is he in your book?
No, I just as the people at home.
Oh, at home, okay. So were you able to did you write to people back home then a lot?
Quite
Yes.
a few, yeah.
Yes, good, good. And how many people were you working with then when you were manufacturing these engines? Was it a big plant?
Yeah, I said, these are all people who work for.
Oh, this is the whole group.
Yeah.
I'll hold up this picture here, which is beautiful. And there would be, what, about 100, 120, do you think?
Back a bit.
120 people?
Yeah, they had to tear down the department, cleaning department, inspection, and assembly, and test beds.
What is this building? Is that where you worked?
No.
No?
Just a building's handy, I guess.
Okay. It was a backdrop for your photo. Wow. Did you keep in touch with any of these gentlemen?
There's one guy, he was just a kid, and I'm pushing 30.
Yes.
I met him at every reunion, and we had lots of those.
And would those reunions be like every year or every 5 years?
They had a reunion every year.
And would that be held in England then?
No, they would go pick different states.
Okay. And it would be just these gentlemen here?
Well, it would be a lot more people. The Air Force, you had engine mechanics and airplane mechanics that worked on a plane. After the war, they formed this group, and we would, you could meet every year at the reunion, and they would vote which state they would go to the next year. I went to many of them, but after a while I got a little bit older to bum around.
So how your days were spent working on the line, and then...
Yeah, they had a day shift and a night shift.
Okay, so they were going 24/7 then? Or just two shifts? Two shifts?
Yeah, just two, yeah.
2 shifts, okay. Okay. And then, but it says you went to France too. Did you do the same thing in France?
Well, I would just want to say one thing. While we were in England, I got off early, and when you go back to the barracks, it was on the gas mask drill day. You were supposed to wear that mask all day. Yeah, going across this long, big field, and naturally I didn't have my mask on. But here comes a Jeep circling around me, spitting out this gas. I got a dose out if I ran past a hangar. That wasn't a nice way to treat a fellow GI.
No, I guess they were trying to get a point across, weren't they?
Sure.
What would you say that you learned over there that you or you saw that you haven't seen in books or movies?
When I was over in France, one day we were roaming around out in the countryside, and then the center of the village, they had a portable still. The farmers would bring their wine or liquids in. They made cognac and armagnac. Yeah. I got a taste of it, and it was like drinking water. Another thing, we hadn't had an egg in years.
Really?
So we'd, a fresh egg is, We would go out to the countryside and candy and cigarettes and swap them for eggs and take them in, and the mess sergeant would fry them for us. It's quite a treat.
Yeah.
After so many years.
Wow. So you haven't seen that in print or movies where you didn't have fresh eggs. What else didn't you have?
Well, no ice cream. All the meat was frozen. They get turkeys in and run them through a bandsaw to cut them up.
Mm.
Of course, sometimes you had to pull KP, but once we got to working, we didn't have to do it anymore. Or pull guard duty.
So, but in France, what what else did you do in France then?
Well, we landed in the Havre, and they bused us to Amiens. There was an airfield at Bois, right outside there, Amiens. And I had a little tech sergeant's rank, so they wouldn't let me sit around. Every third day, my job to go with the plane. I wasn't trained in that, but since I had the right, I had to do it. Well, my duty there was to pre-flight the engines in the morning. If we were going to fly, take the wing locks and land gear locks off. And when we flew, I would stand behind the pilot, to go pilot. And when we were airborne, I turned the generator on. When we were going to land, I'd turn them off. And I was supposed to watch some of the temperatures on the instrument panel.
So you're saying that the pilots didn't have all the controls right there. You had to do something behind?
Well, I just turned the generators on and off.
And the generators did what?
It made electricity for the aircraft. The reason for turning it on and off, if you had a crash landing, the electric wouldn't be there, it might start a fire.
Okay.
And I guess the same reason they didn't turn them on till you were airborne, in case you crashed, you wouldn't have a big fire.
So today they just have a knob that they would do themselves.
Yeah.
So you had a very important job of saving the ship, so to speak.
And when we land, I had to stay with the shipping guard. I made one flight where we took the supplies in for the Nuremberg trial. And I got a trip back to France and one trip to Germany. And best of all, I drew flight pay.
For every time you flew?
I guess it was so much a month.
Oh, so it had nothing to do with?
Yeah. But just as you were flying, I had a little young kid check me out on taxi in the airplane. You were supposed to do it by with the throttle. You want to turn one way, you speed out of one engine, trying to go the other way, you'd speed up the other engine. But I couldn't master it, I just used the brake and put the brake on and she'd spin around. But I passed anyway. One time we went, I think I was already feeling praying something about it. Anyway, the pilot, co-pilot had left, left me with the engine, and it was parked on sort of a hillside. And all of a sudden, things started rolling. So I grabbed the steps and went to throw onto the wheel, but the thing came to a stop.
Oh my gosh. Oh my. And then how long were you in France then?
Only maybe 3 months is about all.
And
The reason I went to France, I didn't have enough points to go home.
Is that right? What do you mean by points?
Well, they rated you, like if you were in battle, you got so many points. If you were mechanic or, and length of service all added up. And anyway, I didn't have enough to go home.
So for 3 months in France, then by having those points, you would get to go home then?
Yeah. Yeah, they put us on 40 and 8 boxcars. And had a strong floor. And it's quite a ways from Blois to Marseille. The train stopped a few times. Well, we stopped at Giage and hop out of that old car. Of course, there's no bathroom in the boxcar.
Oh my gosh.
And we were going home, so a lot of the GIs sold their shoes or blankets or anything. And some of them would buy bottles of wine.
Mm-hmm.
The train took us into Marseille, and we got on probably the smallest ship in the service. It's had 3 compartments. It had a storage room in the back end that served as a movie. Front forward room was served as a place to sleep, place to eat. And we're on the upper deck, and you want to go down to eat, you had to pass a latrine. And with everybody being sick, by the time you got down to where to eat, you didn't need nothing anymore.
How many people were on this ship?
It might have been 600.
600. And that was taking you home to here?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it took us 18 days to go from Marseille to New York. And I was sick. I think it was New Year's Day, and I finally was able to start eating again. The sea was so rough and the waves so high, he had to reduce the speed down to equal to 2 miles an hour. And as soon as he got over the wave, he speed in. We didn't make very good time. It took us 18 days from Marseille to New York.
Wow. And it says here you got back January 9th, is that when you got back?
Yeah.
So on your trip over though, it sounds like a very, do you remember the name of your ship?
Yeah, it was one of the queens. I'm not sure it was the Queen Mary or the Queen Elizabeth. They were both about the same size, and there were many decks on it, and I was sleeping in D deck.
And did you sleep with a bunch of people, or did you have your own rooms?
Oh, it had all forms. It had some hammocks, some on the floor. Just grouped all together. Sometimes they would switch, let guys that sleeping down below deck go up on top deck for a night. And, I think nobody fed us twice a day. And the British fed us. Instead of bacon and eggs, they'd have a whole dishpan full, and you just get your bacon and eggs out of that dishpan. And, oh, you got hungry at night, you find one of those British officers and buy a sandwich off of him.
Okay. So what were the British coming home with you for? Were they the owners of the ship, and
Yeah.
they were bringing you back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, coming back, that was a Navy ship, but going over was a British ship. And there was thousands of people on that ship
Going over.
going over.
Over.
And that only took 6 days.
6 days?
6 days, yeah.
Wow. And those were all servicemen going over?
Yeah, they went fast because there were submarines out there.
Oh.
Submarines couldn't go that fast.
Yeah.
They were full.
So coming home, they took it a slower route? and-
Well, they had to go slow because that time of year, the sea's really rough. That probably wouldn't go much faster.
Why couldn't they, I guess they didn't fly people home in those days, did they?
Well, when they closed up the depot, somebody said, you crate everything up, we'll get some B-17s and we'll fly you home. Well, it didn't happen. Some of the GIs went to the guy you go to complain, and he just said, the person that said that had no right to say that. So, in my case, they sent me a stone name. And while we were at Stone England, there was 2 of us in the room. Well, we were really waiting for deployment to Japan, but a rumor came around that the war was over. So my buddy and I got a bottle of booze and put it down and took a nap. Next day, well, then we found out it wasn't over, but just a rumor.
Oh.
So the next day, it really was over. And we found a bottle of scotch and celebrated one more time.
And how did you feel when you heard that it was over? I mean, you celebrated, but did your heart just say, finally, and let's move on? Get me out of here?
Well, then that's when they sent me over to France.
Because you had to get your points in. You still had to get your points in after the war was declared.
Yeah. So went to France, and it's kind of funny. We invaded the harbor with a full field pipe, and it was all over.
What do you mean you invaded the whole harbor? harbor?
Well, we walked up this harbor out of the ship, and we had a full field pack like we were going to war.
And there was no war?
It was all over. Of course, that was all our possessions we had to carry too. And go double bag.
And how many came over with you from England then?
Well, they must have been from all over England. The guy I stayed with, he was from a different outfit.
And did people stay after you stayed then? Do you think, or did everybody leave at the same time?
They closed the place down. Of course, it probably had a stagger. They couldn't all leave at once.
And what did your family say when you got back? Did you look a lot different? And I guess you had lost a lot of weight from your trip back.
No, I think I was, usually when you take basic training, they'll strip you down and work you into, but you lose a lot of weight, but eventually they build you back up again. I got discharged around New York. I forget the camp, but they gave me money to go home on. So I got caught a train. I believe it was Columbus or Dayton, I don't know which. But then I had to take a bus to Cincinnati. When we went through Reading, my brother got on the bus and took me off.
Did
I wanted to go see my girl, right?
Bet.
He took me home.
Tell me about this.
Well, that's a lot of hair I carried with me.
Did you want to open it and show it?
Hope that's the right one.
And you took that with you?
Yeah.
You carried that with you, her lock of her hair?
Yeah.
Isn't that beautiful? And when you got home, when did you get to see her then? Did your brother take you to see her?
Well, no, I went home and I think I got my car and went down. She lived in Wyndham Place.
Bet that was a good homecoming.
Yeah. After a little few days, I started building a house. My sister lived next door. I lived there while building the house. Well, I got home on the 9th of February. I married on the 26th.
Wow. And your house was built by the end of February then?
Oh, no. By Christmas time, I was
Wow.
alone.
That's pretty
The
impressive.
wife helped me, and I had a lot of subcontractors. The wife and I did a lot of the last work. And we're still living there today. I am, but she's still.
And you're living with Mary, your sister? And your daughter. Do you have other children besides Mary? I mean, Barb? No.
Got 2 grandkids.
I saw pictures of those children. They're beautiful. And are they here in Cincinnati?
One is the husband's son. California.
Okay. Okay. And then, did you make this for your
Yeah.
wife?
Yeah.
I don't know if you can see this. Do you want to tell us what this is?
Well, there's English coins held together with chain. Not very strong.
That's beautiful. They all look different. Are they all different coins?
I really don't remember.
Yeah, they all look like different faces. And then, what is, and this, you make this too, this ring?
Yeah. We take a coin and put it on a vise and just keep hammering it until it's spread out to the shape of a ring. And board the center out, polish it up.
Is this what they call coin silver then? When they take a coin and make it into
Of course, in this country, you're not allowed to do that,
no?
but it's against the law.
But over there, did you do this to pass the time, or?
Well, yeah, but there were periods where you didn't have nothing to do, but used stuff like that. I would take a 50 caliber shell and make a cigarette lighter out of it. Do a lot of work with plastic, make picture frames and enclose a picture in.
Oh,
You know, it's something to.
did you have access to books over in England or France?
No.
No. How about communication as to how the war was going? Did you have newspapers?
Yeah, in England they had what they called a tannoy system. They had speakers all over the place. They'd give you news and time of the day.
So your communication was via loudspeakers?
Yeah.
And then would that go on all day long or just certain times of the day?
Yeah, they had speakers in the hangar. In this area where the shops were, there were AM hangars and the engine hangar. There was an awful lot of people there. They had one of the mess hall. They would truck food in from different sites. The site that was the living area where you lived. And I lived on site 9, and there was quite a few other ones there. Each mess hall would fill a big can of food, and then they'd take this big old mess hall. And they, in that mess hall, they had a big map that showed the progress of the war. So
Oh.
that you only hated that mess hall when you were working over there. When, at your own site, they had a mess hall. At your morning and night.
Were there air raids and stuff that you had to worry about?
The closest one to our base was over Manchester, and I had a pass that went to London. There was here bombing, and we had to go to the airship to cover each other. And of course, at the shop we had air shelters, and you have a drill once in a while, you had to run for that shelter.
David, do you have some questions?
A few. Was there a particular incident that you remember that was the most emotionally powerful for you from your war years?
I'd say coming home.
While you were in the service, what were your feelings about the enemy? Did you have strong feelings, or was it more that you were just sent over to do a job?
Well, sent over to do a job. Being of German descent, you have mixed emotions.
Very understandable. Did what you, the training that you got in the war affect what you did when you came home?
No, not really. While on the farm, I had to get a farmer's license, and so I used that to work at the tea company, and finally wound up with Stearns and Foster, where I put in about 35 years. Went from being a fireman to an engineer, and I did most of the maintenance for the power plant later. I put tubes in boilers, repaired stokers. Stokers were big stokers. It was a lot of work.
A lot of work after the war, is that what you're saying? You're 35?
A lot of work at Stearns and Foster.
Mhm. Is that where this watch came from?
Yeah, that's a 25-year watch.
And how old were you when you retired then?
63.
63. Now, what is this?
That's a 15-year pin. I got a lot of them. I got a 10-year.
Is that from here?
Stearns and Foster.
Stearns and Foster. I'm sorry, I interrupted. You're okay?
I had another question, and I can't think of it at the moment.
Your hearing's remarkably good. Has it always been this good?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, because when you think of the war, you think of, you said you had those announcements and you're working in a machine shop, and did you wear earplugs then? Did they have those back then?
I mean, board and test bed, you would have to have, but it's kind of noisy. But,
Barb, was there ever a question you wanted to ask your dad? Because there's always things that go through your mind and you're afraid to ask, and now
Gee. Parachute silk. Parachute silk. I don't know. No, I think you've covered a lot of them, really. I guess you can tell about some of the shopping you did and presents you sent home to Mom.
Oh, that's a good question. Do you remember?
One place I got a whole some parachute silk. I sent that home.
And what does one do with that?
That wasn't my job.
So she'd make something out of it?
Yeah.
And you're saying it's from a parachute?
Yeah.
And she could make curtains or a dress or
It
whatever?
was silk. I got a passed to Scotland, and I think I bought a scarf up there.
Mhm. Are you ever taken, I was thinking of coming, when I was coming here today, of France, and I was thinking of the smell of lavender. Do you smell things nowadays that take you back, or hear things, or that will take you back to then?
I pretty well forgot all about it.
So do you remember France, though, how it felt to be there? Was it beautiful, the land and,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah,
people?
it was countryside, and I know, we used to roam around there all over the place. And there's one area you came up a trail, there was a German tank that got busted, it was sitting there. For a shower, you had to go in town and get on a truck and they'd take you in. And they had a big water storage tank. And for a shower, I had taken food cans, gallon cans, put a bunch of holes in them. And that was
You shower?
yeah.
Oh, wow.
And at one point the ship just told upon about it. And we were living in tents, and one GI took a bunch of those gallon cans and nailed them to a stick to make a stovepipe or a stove.
Is that right? Those cans, I would think that they'd have, what, peaches and pears?
Yeah.
And,
Vegetables.
vegetables?
They just cut both ends out.
And that was your dinner or whatever?
Well, they had a mess hall there too. And,
So you were never like out in the field somewhere where you had to fend for yourself? You always had a base to go back to and
No,
everything?
we have field trips, sleep in pup tents, but they always seem to manage to feed us.
That's good.
That one trip is on a train, you fed bologna sandwich.
How long would you say you were in that train with the straw, the hay?
Probably maybe a day and a half, something like that.
Okay.
That's what they did in World War I. I didn't think they'd pull that in World War II.
You thought they were more advanced, huh?
Yeah. That 48 meant 8 horses or 40 men. That was the capacity of the car. The cars were small.
Mm-hmm. Did you bring your uniforms home?
Yeah,
You still have those?
yeah.
Good.
Got my overcoat.
How about your boots?
Yeah, I had them. I wore them out.
Did you?
Yeah. Boy, they, when I was in the States, they issued what they call a blouse, your coat. While we were overseas, they come out with Eisenhower jackets. They were a little bit shorter.
Like the little bomber jackets?
Yeah. And some guys got even seamstress to cut them down. But after a while, they issued them. And that's what I had when I came home, was a Nike jacket.
Mm-hmm.
They had one jacket that was really neat. They called it a field jacket.
What kind of jacket?
A field jacket. It's it's a work jacket, but it's really nice.
Tell how you dressed Brent up in your uniform.
How's that?
Tell how you put your uniform on Brent.
Oh, I I guess I wasn't supposed to do that either, but
I don't think they'll mind.
I got into Milo, put the suit on, garrison cap. I wanted to bring a picture along, but I couldn't find it. One, two. But he was sharp on that. I just like real soldiers.
Is Brent
My son.
your son?
Grandson.
And how old was he when he put,
Ooh, what do you think, maybe 18? Maybe not even.
He's a full grown.
wow. And so then you took a picture of that? Oh, that's
Yes.
great, that's great.
Yeah, I don't think I fit it in anymore. I think I was 34 or 36 and now I'm about 38.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. Not much bigger. You've done well. You've done well. Wow.
I thought of the question that came and went. When you were in the service, did you find that you met lots of different kinds of people that perhaps were different from the people that you'd grown up with?
Yeah, there's all people, all, I had a Chinese buddy. I had one, just getting on track a little bit, but one time they were short of soldiers. So they asked some of the mechanics to volunteer to fight over in, anyway, I was a line chief at that time, and he took one of my men and replaced him with a cook. And he worked pretty good. We had to take the pistons off at the end, and we had a device to punch the wrist pin out. Anyway, he got his finger caught between the piston and the rod, and I ran and got a crowbar and pried it so but he was really in pain there.
And that was the cook that,
Yeah,
he wasn't trained yet?
He wasn't trained for
Yeah.
it. It was just an accident. I had the device to press the piston out. I submitted an idea to use hydraulics. To be in this, we were using a rawhide mallet and a drift pin, knocking them out. But we were bending the connecting rod. So you had to do something. So I submitted an idea to use hydraulic to pull it out. But the engineering department made one that used compressed air and they pushed it out.
Oh, okay.
And when they pushed it out, that's how I got that guy's finger.
Oh, wow. Wow. He didn't lose his finger then, did he?
No.
That's good. Do you remember your friend that was, you said he's a Chinaman, do you remember his name?
Teddy Moy.
And do you know how to spell that? M-O-Y?
M-O-Y.
And did you ever keep in contact with him?
I tried to. We had a reunion in Sacramento, that's where he lived.
Uh-huh.
And apparently there's thousands of Moys down there.
Mm-hmm.
I never located him.
You did see him at a reunion though? One or no?
I
You never?
never saw him.
No. Wow.
But we got along good together. Only one time he liked to gamble.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be lights out, and he would go to the latrine and play cards there. one of them got mad and he threw the deck of cards in her.
Oh, no. You guys, were you a bunch of pranksters?
Oh, yeah. I know this is basic training. We had one guy, he's from the South, he's very religious, and he was going somewhere, and a bunch of guys sat on his mountain playing cards. Well, when he got back, he flipped the card upside down. He was mad.
So you had to learn to live with a lot of different people, and that was quite the education. But you were probably, were you the oldest of all your group?
Yeah.
So were you a father figure to these young men?
Well, I know we were standing in the chow line one day, and there was a young kid in front of me. He's horsing around, he took his elbow and ran me in the chest here. Well, I got kind of sore, so I went on sick call. And the doctor said to tape it up. Well, the medic says, you don't want that. You get that under your hair, and when you pull it off, it'll be painful.
So he didn't treat you like a dad. He treated you just like another kid.
Yeah.
What do you think about today? What's going on?
It's a real mess.
Did you feel that way back then? Did you feel like it was a real mess when you were in it? Or did you feel...
I think it's worse now than at the time.
If you were 30 today, would you, I don't think you'd want to go over there now.
No. It just takes no sense to what they're doing today. It's plain nuts.
Are there any last words that you might have that you want to say? Something that we forgot to ask or neglected to ask, or any final words?
Can't think of anything.
Can I ask you a question?
Certainly.
You want to tell about the time when you were up in Michigan and a bunch of fellows crammed into a car and went like crazy to get to Cincinnati to see their people and then go back?
Well, the air base, you had a perimeter track that went around the airport, and one time they had a Jeep, and there must have been about 10 guys on that Jeep speeding around the perimeter track, and they upset more than a bunch of scratched up guys. We were over in France. This one guy, he scrounged around, got himself a VW, and he chopped it down. He's the only guy that had a car.
You tell them about the time you came home and you said, I can tell these are pork chops when I eat in the Army, I don't know what I'm eating.
The Army ate a lot of spam.
No. Spam. Well, that was that was the meat, I guess, the meat product.
Yeah. They had various ways of fixing the powdered eggs. Their mess sergeants have different methods. That was all the eggs we got were powdered eggs, powdered milk, powdered orange juice. They also used that orange juice to clean up the butcher block.
No kidding. The acidic, yeah. In France, did they have oranges and stuff beside the eggs? Yep.
I think we landed in France. We had German POWs doing the cooking, and I could smell them. They were frying potatoes and eggs, potatoes. Boy, they sure smelled good. Another time, it was a tent city, and had these French people doing the cooking, and they had a field stove, was gasoline fired, and mom caught fire, and these French were really scrambling to get that fire thing out of the tent.
The tape's about to go now.
Okay, well, I want to thank you so much, and thank you for your service too to our country. We may not be here for all the efforts and contributions you all made.
Yeah, a while ago.
It was a while ago, it was very important. So thank you.
Hey, you're welcome.